Wendy Griffiths here. I am going to speak today about getting your financial house in order when it comes to thinking about buying a home. A lot of buyers think in terms of sales price, like, oh, I want to buy a $400,000 house. And that may be certainly fine, but a lot of times they're not considering what factors go into what that price may equate to as far as their monthly payment. And I don't know about you, but we don't live in the price, we live in the payment. Every month I need to know how much I am stroking that check to the lender for. So if you haven't had a chance to speak to a lender, I usually recommend that is the first step before considering buying another house or your first house even, because you want to factor in things like your down payment, and that's going to depend on whether or not you have mortgage insurance or not, whether or not you do an FHA loan or conventional loan. If you're military, you may qualify for a VA loan, but if you have money to put down and you decide to do VA, then that reduces the VA funding fee. So there's a lot of things to think about just along the lines of down payment. That doesn't even take into consideration things like the taxes. Which county are you going to live in? Are you considering an area that has a lot of neighborhoods with CDD fees, which are Community Development District fees, which also are collected through your taxes? So those are the things to think about. A lot of times people look online and they see the taxes from the previous owner, and they don't realize that that is not necessarily a reflection of what their tax bill is going to be. So a lot of times your realtor or your lender can help you navigate what that looks like. And sometimes I'll have a buyer, a great example would be in St. Johns County, where they're considering different neighborhoods with different CDD fees. And when that happens, it changes, if we try and keep the payment the same, how much house we can buy in each neighborhood. So we need to factor all of those things into play before we even start looking at houses. So those are a couple of things to think about when it comes to getting your financial house in order, just from a down payment and what your payment's going to be. Of course, we've got interest rates that are in flux that have a lot to do with what your credit score is and also what the market conditions are doing. Bottom line, my biggest recommendation for anybody who is starting the home buying process, even though it is very fun to look at houses, and I can tell you I'm guilty of looking at houses all day long for myself and others, but when it comes time to say, yes, I'm getting serious about wanting to look at homes that may be a fit for my family or for myself, or maybe even from an investment standpoint, the first step is to talk to a reputable lender, preferably someone who you have been referred to, so you know that they're going to look out for your best interest, not necessarily theirs, because there's a lot of ways to finance property these days, and we want to make sure your best things are taken into consideration. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share today. I hope everyone is doing well, and look for me next time when we update more things about the home buying process.